Graveyard by Austin, Brooke, Erica, Jasmine, and Sarah.
For this class, we will be focusing on the topic eutrophication in the Gulf of Mexico. Eutrophication occurs when nitrites, such as nitrogen and phosphorus, enter the water, resulting in hypoxic zones or dead zones. In the summer of 2019, NOAA announced a dead zone that was nearly the size of Massachusetts. But why don't we move on and meet the team that will be conducting the research for this project.
Hey guys, I'm Austin. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri, but I just moved here to Arizona a little over a year ago, and I now live in Scottsdale, Arizona with my boyfriend, our dog Allie, our cat Rupert, and our little turtle Tango. So if I'm not working here from our condo, I'll be working down the street at a little coffee shop that we like to go to, and sometimes we like to go camping on the weekends, so there'll be times where I'll be working remotely as well. So I originally transferred to SU for the School of Sustainability. So I'm pretty excited about this topic. I got a chance to do a little bit of research on eutrophication in streams, rivers, ponds, things like that. Nothing on as large of a scale as the Gulf of Mexico. But what really drew me to this project was a few years ago, I had the opportunity to work with the sea turtles along the coast of Mexico. So I got to go snorkeling and diving with them, which was really cool. But the highlight of that experience was I actually got to witness a few sea turtles giving birth. So I got to watch them lay their eggs and work with the marine biologists on that project, which was super cool. So I'm really excited to learn more about eutrophication on a larger scale in the Gulf of Mexico and how we can learn from this to prevent it from damaging the delicate marine life that we have, so that way we can preserve it for future generations.
Hi everyone, my name is Brooke Baker. I was born and raised in Mesa, Arizona. I'm actually a sophomore in college. Last year I was studying as a medical major, but this year I switched over to sustainability because I think it's something I'm more passionate about and excited to work in after I graduate. I am actually currently living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area, and that's where I will be working on the rest of my coursework. The reason I picked eutrophication in the Gulf of Mexico is because I took a course in marine biology, and that was something that really started my love of sustainability early. In that class we learned a lot about how we as humans are polluting the ocean and just making a lot of species go extinct and that kind of thing. And one of our main subjects we learned about actually was dead zones in the Gulf. And so I already had some prior knowledge about it, and I was really passionate about it already. Just knowing some of the things that we could be doing to make our oceans a lot healthier. So I haven't lost that passion, and I'm just excited to research it more and learn about how we can create healthier ocean ecosystems.
Hi guys, my name is Erica Hutzler and I'm from Northern Illinois, but currently living in Sun City, Arizona with my grandparents. I will spend most of my homework here at their house doing my homework. I'm studying digital audience with a minor in sustainability. Being a world traveler and frequent scuba diver, I have become a huge ocean lover and green activist. I chose this topic because of how passionate I am for the ocean. I want to help find ways to keep our waterways thriving, and I want to be able to learn a more in-depth way on how to control our waterways so that the future generations can experience beautiful underwater ecosystems.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm currently living in Austin, Texas, and I'm a freshman here at ASU this year. And I will be working from my house. I am majoring in biological science, and I'm hoping to claim a minor in sustainability after this class, honestly. My goal is to become a herpetologist and/or environmental conservationist, and as I've always been around animals, and it's deeply important to me to protect what I believe we share with much more than just people, and I don't feel like everyone always remembers that, so it's deeply, it's an issue for me that I want to be able to do something about in the future. And looking at this topic, I felt like this was the way to go. As this is a ecosystem, it's a habitat of many vulnerable, very vulnerable animals. And yeah, I want to learn how to do everything I can to reverse what we've already done. So I'm very excited to be working with everyone and learning more about this topic.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Yankee. I live here in Dubuque, Iowa. This is where I started my college career at NICC, and I graduated there with a 2-year degree in Associative Science. While I was in that school, I took a few environmental science courses, but it was mostly just gen eds about like chemistry and physics and biology and some math courses. However, I was very interested in environmental science, and that is also part of the reason why I'm vegan, just to have a less terrible impact on the earth and diminish my ecological footprint a little bit. That's just one of the reasons, though. There's a lot. For this project, I'll be working from home, mostly just here at my desk. Sometimes I go to coffee shops, or like if I'm at a friend's house and I just have my laptop with me, I'll kind of putz around on school a little bit. But for the most part, I will be just at my house. The reason I chose this topic, eutrophication, was because I was actually researching overfishing for a speech back in my freshman or sophomore year of college, and I came across eutrophication in the Gulf of Mexico, and I was just so shocked that there were parts of our oceans that were considered dead, and I really wanted to learn more about that, but once the speech research was over, I kind of put it on my mind, and then when I saw it here again, I really wanted to do more research on it and just kind of know more of what causes it and how we can stop adding on to the damage we've already caused. So hopefully I will be able to learn. So being that we are online school, it was definitely a challenge at first to coordinate with everybody. However, Erica did a really good job of getting everybody's numbers and then creating a group chat so that we didn't have to be constantly checking our email and constantly logging on to Canvas. We could just text each other in the group chat. We have answers right away with whatever people were doing or thinking. If like we had new ideas or somebody was confused. We also are very good at communicating our schedules with each other. So if somebody works this night, that means we can't FaceTime this night. Or maybe we can FaceTime, but we have to make sure to fill them in on like what we discussed. Or maybe if multiple people work, they're going to be able to work on it earlier in the day or later in the day, and they can let us know that. How we are making sure everyone works equally, we assigned roles. A little later on, we assigned our roles, and we all kind of like fell into place with those. we were able to decide who was taking which stakeholders and kind of divide the work up that way. By dividing the stakeholders and assigning the roles, we were able to equally distribute like the 10-minute video time. And how we did that was we decided that each group member would have a few slides that were each 1 to 2 minutes in length. So that way everybody has like a set amount of work that they have to do and a set amount of slides to get to that 10-minute goal. So we were able to do that. And yeah, I believe that our communication has just been really well put together, and it has made for an easy group project.
There are 5 major stakeholders that come into play, including commercial fishing industry, the farming industry, flora, fauna, local ecosystems, and the tourism industry.
The commercial fishing industry in the Gulf of Mexico accounts for more than 40% of our nation's seafood, which is only second to Alaska. But because of the dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico, this industry is under attack. Many of the species that are commercially fished here are forced to move further and further out to sea in order to avoid these dead zones. This also forces the fishermen to travel further from land and spend more money just in order to make their catch. If these dead zones continue to expand, it will not only cause many fishermen to be out jobless, but it will have devastating effects on the Gulf of Mexico's commercial fishing industry as well as our nation's economy.
The dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico's #1 threat is the farming industry. Because of human overpopulation, there is a higher demand for food, causing overuse of nutrient-rich fertilizers on farms in the Midwest. These nitrate and phosphate-dense fertilizers, along with animal waste and soil erosion, run downstream into the Mississippi, eventually exiting into the Gulf of Mexico. The combination of nitrogen and phosphorus is perfect for overgrowth of algae. This eventually leads to hypoxia of specific areas of water where sunlight is unable to reach the bottom. According to Monica Bruckner at Montana State University, the most obvious solutions are to use fewer fertilizers to limit excess runoff, find ways to control animal waste from entering waterways, and finding greener ways to practice the new industrial farming.
So aside from the obvious mortalities like the fish, shrimp, mobile creatures, there are immobile organisms that are stuck. Corals, sponges, sea squirts, and they can't escape this hypoxic water. They're basically trapped, and corals can't be replaced, not within our lifetimes or anytime soon. They live thousands of years, and if these coral reefs collapse, it's going to affect the entire food web. It already is, and even seagrasses are dying. So it's super important that we halt this before it gets worse and we lose the coral reefs.